Hello everyone and welcome back to another doll customizing video here on Dead End Crafts. I'm your friend Sade and I am eager to get to today's video where I'm making my best girl, Toga. Toga Himiko is a character from My Hero Academia and I adore her, and I made this doll quite a while ago. So she's an older one, but I'm really proud of her and I'm eager to share her with you guys. So getting right to it, here's the doll that I used. It's an Ever After High doll. I don't know the name of the character. I really don't know anything about the Ever After High dolls. Just that they are also from Mattel, very similar to the Monster High dolls in proportions and the articulation in the bodies. And I know they have rounder faces, so for a character, an anime character like Himiko, this would be an ideal choice. So first, always removing the face paint, and then from here we'll go to getting the hair and then the accessories, and then we'll tie off her hair so that we can get to just cutting that all away. Like I said before, I always start by removing the face paint because then I feel less guilty about, undressing and just cutting away all the hair, and I feel less like Sid from Toy Story. So when I cut off the hair, I do like to tie it up because I feel like that makes less of a mess. It keeps all of the strands together, and then I don't have, just a hair flying everywhere. Obviously it's still gonna be a bit of a mess with the smaller, like the bangs, smaller strands still kind of fly around. But if I, say, wanted to keep the hair, I still have it all together, and it's just easier to clean up or store away if I need to. In this case, I did not salvage this hair. That went straight into the trash. It's too, one, too messy because this is a second-hand doll, and two, not too fond of how artificial this color is, so. Okay, once the hair is cut as short as possible, I soaked it in hot water for a while, pulled off the head, and now we are scraping the inside of the head, trying to get all that rooted hair into the doll head, and just so we can extract it all. And we all love this part, and I don't think I'll show too much of it this round. And I might start just skipping this part altogether because I don't know if you guys like seeing this. It's a little time consuming because it's early on in the process. I do remember to record it, and then I forget to record other things later on in the process. In here, okay, quick snippet of like how I prepare the doll hair. So this is the yarn I picked out. It's 100% acrylic yarn, and because they were these kind of thicker, it was easier to kind of unweave it all, and then I brush it out and it looks like this, and then you take a hair iron and just kind of smooth it all out. But that's all I caught of the hair. So moving on to the mask. So Toga wears a sort of like, it's not a gas mask, I don't think, but she has this really cool black mask, and I decided I would make it for her. So what I did is I put some plastic wrap around the head, and then I put layers of tissue paper or toilet paper mixed, soaked with watered down Mosh Podge or Elmo's glue would work fine too. And so I just built up a nice layer of it, and now I am using a pencil to kind of sketch the shape of the mask. And I have that pink on the top of the head that I'm kind of blocking with my hand is the wig cap. So I made the wig cap first and cut it to the shape that I wanted, put that on there, and I'm I'm gonna cut the mask along with the wig cap so they don't like block each other, so they sit together on the face when the doll is done. So okay, so now I'm gonna pull off the wig cap. That's what it looks like there. And maybe I'll show how to make those at some time, but they're pretty easy and you can find other videos. So here's the mask so far. I think if I was gonna do something like this again, I would have put more layers of the tissue because it was pretty flimsy once I pulled it off. So I did have to be careful with it. But now that it's cut out, I put it back on the face with the plastic wrap because I don't want to get any clay on the actual face. But I'm using air dry clay to kind of build out the mask and smooth it out, get the shape that I want. It's got these details on the mask that kind of look like piping or something, like metal piping, I don't know. But you'll see that later on. Right now I'm just kind of building out the mask, getting a good shape. This was kind of fun. I enjoy making the little accessories for dolls. And also, sorry that my hand is like blocking a lot of things. This is also early on when I'm still trying to figure out, you know, the best place to put my camera and how to mount it. I have only just a mount that kind of attaches to the one side of my desk, and so it's kind of been tricky. I would love to get a proper camera mount in the future, but who knows. Alright, well here's why I am trying to sculpt in those little details on the mask. Just kind of took my time with it. Relaxing. Oh, if you look behind at the doll's body sitting in the background, you can see that I had already started sculpting her shoes back there. They're just those white lumps on her feet. Unfortunately, I didn't catch too much footage of sculpting out her shoes, but I will show you the final shoes later on. My bad. Oh, okay, so I did get a little bit of the shoe sculpting. Yay! So I'm trying to make these like very standard schoolgirl loafers. And so the initial process was very similar to the mask, where I think I used, probably familiar with Watercolor's shoemaking tutorial that they did a long while ago. So it was just, I think, tin foil wrapped around the feet, and then layers of the tissue paper and watered down glue until I got something that I could cut off. And now I am just kind of shaping it and adding the details that I want with air dry clay. And it's a little time consuming and you gotta be patient with it. I am very new to sculpting things, but I was pretty happy with the end result of these shoes. I think they're really cute, especially once the paint, you'll see the paint on there. So here are the finished shoes. You can kind of see it's still a little raw, like on the inside I didn't really paint it, but the outside is super cute. It's got this nice brown finish. I'm really happy with these. I think they're really adorable. They're a little small. Once I put them back on her feet, I thought I was going to break them putting them back on her feet, and they're definitely not coming off without being broken. Here's her mask with the first layer of paint. Just kind of waiting for it to dry before we put on the silver and add a little more details. And once that was painted, I think I used a elastic band on the back to hold it in place that sits under the wig. So here I decided to do some blushing on the body, because why not? I don't know, I don't do this with every single doll that I've done it now, but Toga, because I adore her character so much, I decided to give her some blushing. Initially I wanted to sell the doll, but once she was completed, I couldn't part with her, so she's one that's going to be staying in my collection. There's just something really calming about blushing a body. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know, very relaxing. Just take your time, build up the color. And I think it's really satisfying because it kind of really brings the whole doll to life to see just the warmth and those little tiny details that really bring out character and life to the doll. Pretty up those knees. If anyone's curious, the way I record the voiceover for these videos is I just play back the edited video and just kind of record myself commenting as it plays back. So I don't always remember what I've put in these videos until I've gone back and watched it all. Alright, but now let's get to the face. So after a couple layers of MSC, and this is I believe the first doll that I made with Mr. Super Clear. The previous ones up to this point I was using some watered down Liquitex and applying it with my airbrush, and that seemed fine enough for say Yukina and my very first doll Hikari, but I was struggling so hard to get the color to stick when I was working on Himiko, and finally I caved and I went searching for some MSC. I was very lucky that a local hobby shop in my area called Tammy's Hobbies, so shout out to Tammy's Hobbies, had MSC for like $12 a can, so I stocked up. And oh my god, the difference between working with the varnish and MSC was just, wow, I wish I'd just gotten a can of MSC from the beginning. But yeah, as you can see, the color sticks on much better. I started with a pink watercolor pencil to just sketch out the eyes. I had some reference of her expression pulled up on the side, and just kind of built up the color and had a lot easier time and a lot more fun with this than I had the previous time. Guys, MSC, it makes the damn difference. So you can hear her face almost done. I wanted to give her a really heavy blush that, yandere blush, and I tried to add these little extra lines that you kind of see her having in the manga. I don't know if I did too well with it, but in the end, I'm pretty damn happy with her face. I look at her and it looks like Toga to me, so I'm pretty proud of her face. And again, apologies with my hair falling into view. Still working. I feel like we get a better view of what I'm doing if I put the camera on this side, but I also have a terrible habit of getting really close to what I'm working on, so I lean in there, and I just apologize for that shadowy, hairy monster that keeps poking into frame. Yeah, sorry. I'll work on that, I promise. So here I'm adding some highlights to her face, and here is a close-up. She is beautiful. She's got her little fangs that I love, and I'm, again, just really happy with how she came out. And so then, of course, we have to move on to her wig. So you can see the wig cap again here, and the wefts that I made from that yarn I showed earlier. And again, I'm pretty sure I relied on a tutorial from Motezekyo She's got some really great hair wig tutorials, so I followed. I think she's got one specifically for like little space buns, which is what Toga has up on either side of her head. So I followed that pretty closely with some slight changes to get the bangs and make the messier buns that I wanted. But yeah, just a slow, steady process of adding on those layers of wefts. Trimming as I go, not too much because I want to make sure it'll be long enough at the end to wrap up into those buns. And I'm afraid this is the only bit of footage I have of doing her hair. Tying her hair up into the buns was really tricky to do on camera, like to make it, you know, visible and like you can tell what I'm doing. So I think I did a lot of the wig off camera, so sorry about that. Again, when I get a decent camera mount, I hope, you know, I'll have some better footage for you guys. You can see there, I almost glued that on backwards. So here is the finished wig. I am really happy with it. There are a little bit of a gap here and there, so I mean it's not the nicest wig, but for my first time making such a complicated wig, I was really proud. I am still really proud of it. Her sweater though, her little cardigan that she wears, I am a little less proud of. I would make this one over again. Maybe I will sometime. But overall, once it's all together, I'm pretty happy with it. I am really proud of the little stockings that I made for her socks. I found this kind of meshy fabric that it looks like on a doll scale. It almost looks like it's wool and like soft and textured, but it's actually a much finer. I don't have a good way of describing fabrics. Not a professional when it comes to fabrics, but I'm really happy with the stockings. My skirt could be improved on. It was an odd fit. That's why you don't see it when it fully goes on, just the initial me struggling to get it up on her hips. But all together at the end, her outfit looks pretty good. Proud of those socks, proud of those shoes, the little sailor fuku, like that goes over her sweater. I'm pretty happy how that came out too. Altogether, the outfit I'm pretty happy with. The individual pieces, some could be much improved upon, but altogether, you know, I'm really happy. Putting her sweater on now, I'm thinking, maybe I should have given her an undershirt or something. And finally, here we are, the finished doll. I made her little scarf thing with the teeth too. I didn't make the rest of her battle ensemble is what we'll call it. But I made her scarf and her mask, and I'm pretty happy with the finished outfit. I love her face. I love her wig. She's definitely one of my favorite dolls that I've made, and she will stay in my collection. I might give her some updated TLC by remaking her sweater and her skirt sometime. But yeah, here is the finished Himiko Toga doll from My Hero Academia. And thanks for watching the video. I hope you guys like her. I'll try to have another video up fairly soon. I have 2 dolls that I'm in the middle of working of, and some others that I've already finished that I'll share with you guys. Keep safe in these crazy times. That's part of the reason why this video took me a while to put out, even though I already had it all put together. But yeah, everyone keep safe. I'll bring you some more dolls sometime, and thanks for watching.